Believe it or not, without considering tones, Mandarin pronunciation is often much more logical and easier than most students expect. In fact, one of my students told me that after learning Mandarin pronunciation the right way, she actually found it easier than English pronunciation. Chinese has 37 final, which include 6 simple final, 16 nasal final, and 13 compound final. That sounds like a lot, but most of these final are built from only 6 basic sounds. A, O, E, I, U, U. These are the building blocks of Mandarin pronunciation. Once you understand these 6 sounds, you already understand the foundation behind most other finals. That's why I always tell my students, if your simple final aren't correct, your compound final won't be correct either. So if you haven't watched my video on the 6 simple final, I highly recommend you to watch that first, because everything we are learning today is built on those 6 sounds. So in today's video, I will show you how to pronounce Mandarin compound final using sounds you already knew. I divide them into 2 groups. Group number 1 is called normal compound final. Group number 2 is called vowel-changed compound final. By the end of this video, you will see that most compound finals are simply combination of sound you already learned. Hello, my name is Jeannie. I'm a Mandarin coach. I help Mandarin beginner who struggle with tones and pronunciation fast-track their progress and finally start speaking Mandarin confidently. Over the past year, I worked with students who start from 0 and help them reach their first 5-minute Mandarin conversation in about 3 months, without drowning in hundreds of characters, difficult grammar rules, or endless memorization, saving them years of unnecessary time, effort, and frustration. So first of all, you need to understand what is a compound final. A compound final is simply 2 or more vowel sounds that combine together. That's it. And here's the mistake many beginners make. They're trying to memorize every compound final as a completely new sound. But the easiest way to learn them is not to memorize them. Instead, you say the first sound, then move smoothly into the second sound. Your mouth naturally creates the correct pronunciation. Once you understand this principle, learning compound final becomes much easier. Okay, let's start with the first group, normal compound final. Let's start with this one. As I just said, the easiest way to learn them is to say the first sound and then move smoothly into the second sound. So this compound final begins with A. So we say A first and then move to E. So slowly, follow me. I. Notice how your mouth moves from the open R position into the E position. All right? That's exactly how you say the compound final. I. One common word is I with fourth tone, which is I. That means love. So a sentence I love you in Chinese is 我爱你. 我爱你. Okay, same idea. The second one, let's start with the R and then move to O. Ow, 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 ow. So this one pronounced as the ow. So notice your mouth position is moved from the R to O. So a very common one of this one is hao, which means good. So a common phrase is 你好, which means hello. Now let's look at this one. Let's try to say the and then move into E. So for English speaker, this sound must sound really familiar, right? It's like the A in the word 8. Just remove the T part. So one thing to notice that is do not stress that too clear. In fact, you just make the sound but quickly move into the E sound like this. Do not do right? Or another way is just simply to think of the English word 8. Just do it without the T at the end. Okay, let's combine with some initial and say the following pinyin. 杯, pay, mei, fei, tei, nei, hey. Okay, the next one is O. Let's start with the O and then we move to the U. So follow me. O, 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 O. Notice how your lips move forwards as you transition from the O into the U sound. I always emphasize the mouth shape is very important. Many pronunciation mistakes happen because learner ignore the mouth shape. Your mouth position matters just as much as the sound itself. I have explained the difference between the O and U in the video here. If you haven't watched that video, go and watch it now. You will have a better idea how to produce these two sounds with different mouth shape. Alright, let's see if you understand the pattern. So pause the video right now and try the following final below yourself. Okay, so this one is E combined with R, so very simple. This one pronounced as ya, ya. And this one, we can simply just look at it as E combined with the compound final R that we just learned. So this one is pronounced as yao, yao, yao. So do not say like yao, yao, right? If you say too clearly, it will sound unnatural. So you're trying to change your mouth shape smoothly. Yao, yao. Okay, the next one, very simple, is U combined with R. So this one sounds like wa, wa. The next one is U combined with a compound final I. So this one will sound like Y, Y, Y. Okay, the next one is U combined with O. So this one sounds like wo, wo. So one of the most common mistakes beginners make is literally mixing up this one with the O one. So remember, the order matters. You always start with the first sound and then move to the second one, right? So for this one that we just learned, is start with U. So this one is wo, wo. The other one, you start with the O and then you change into U. So this one is O, O, right? So it's the same final, but different order. So the pronunciation is different as well. Okay, the next one, this one is combined with E and O. So this one pronounced as yo, yo. And this one is combined with U and the compound final A. So this one is pronounced with wei, wei. However, these two confuse almost every beginner because in the written pinyin, they don't actually look like this. So in the written pinyin, yo is actually written as E plus U. So the middle O is hidden. And for wei, it's written as U plus E. So the middle is hidden. So these two looks very similar, just the order is a bit different. But once you understand what is hidden, this becomes easier. So you wouldn't confuse this too much. Okay, did you notice something? You didn't really learn this completely new sound today. You simply combine the sound you already know. So this is exactly why I said Chinese pronunciation is often easier and logical than most people think. Coaching so many beginners, I noticed some pronunciation mistakes appear again and again. So I put together a free guide called Why You Struggle with Mandarin Pronunciation and Tone, and I summarized the 10 common learning method mistakes that most students make. So if you're interested, click the link below in the description to get your free guide. Now let's move on to the second group. Most compound final are simply combination of sound you already learned. However, there are a few exceptions. So these two compound final are ye and yue. In this final, the letter does not sound like the normal Mandarin that we learned in the simple final. Instead, it sounds more like the vowel sound in the English words like bed, get, read. But the good news is that the same principle still applies. You still can start with the first final and smoothly move to the second one. So let's look at this ye first. So as I just said, the here pronounced as the e. So when we read it together, it should be like this. Ye, ye, ye. Right, we change our mouth from the e to the e sound. So it's this one. So this pronounced as yu, yu. Then we move into the e sound. So this one will sound like yue, 约, Okay, now there's one more thing that confuses many beginners. Unlike English, some Mandarin pinyin can exist without initial. For example, some of the compounds that we learned today, like ya, yao, wo, ye, this pinyin can stand alone as complete pinyin. But if we wrote them exactly as they sound, it will look awkward and confusing because there isn't an initial in there. So pinyin introduced two helper letter, which is Y and W. So these letters do not add any new sound. They are mainly used to make reading and writing easier. So for example, ya that we just learned is actually written as Y plus R. Yao is written as Y plus ao. Ye is written as Y plus A. Wa is written as W plus R. Notice that these compound finals do not change if combined with other initial. For example, if yao combined with the initial b, then it will become biao, biao. In the written way, it does not need to change. For example, if ya want to combine with ji, then it becomes jia. If ye combine with le, then it becomes lie. It only change when the sound stand alone as complete pinyin. So if you like a full explanation about how to use this W and Y, how's this to work, I actually have another video for you, which is here. 7 Mandarin Chinese pronunciation rule every beginner must know. So if you like, you can go to check the video here later. Okay, so the next things you can practice is literally combine those compound final with a Chinese tone. Now, let me show you how I recommend practicing this final, because this is where many beginners make mistakes. Most of them practice like this. They straight away combine with the fourth tone just by using one compound final. So they practice like this. I. And then they immediately move on. The problem is that you are trying to learn two different things at the same time. The compound final and four tones. That can overwhelm your brain. So instead, I recommend you focusing on one tone at a time. For example, we only use first tone to practice all the compound final that we just learned. So it will be like this. I, A, O, Ya, Wa, Y. So repeat all of them several times and then move to the second tone. I, Ao, O, Ya, Wa, Y. And then third tone, and then fourth tone. This allows your brains to focus on the tone separately from the pronunciation. Once you're comfortable with the final, and then you start combining them with some of the initial. For example, you can practice like this. Bai, pai, mai, fi. And then you can change into another tone, for example, like second tone to practice all that. So this is where your pronunciation really start improving. So this is exactly how I teach my students in my program, 45 Days to Master Mandarin Pronunciation and Tones. We don't try to learn everything at once. Instead, we focus on one skill at a time. And throughout the process, students submit recording and receive personalized feedback. That means you always know exactly what you're doing correctly and exactly what needs improvement. So if you would like to improve your Mandarin pronunciation and tone with structured guidance and feedback, you can check the link in the description below. So today we have learned the Mandarin compound final, and hopefully you have noticed something important. Mandarin pronunciation is not about memorizing hundreds of random sounds. It's about understanding a small number of patterns and then combine them correctly. In the next few weeks, I will be releasing more pronunciation video, including how to master Mandarin nasal final. In the meantime, you can also check out my other pronunciation video, including how to say the Chinese difficult initial, 第七息, 支持时日, and 自言词, and also how successful learners actually study Mandarin and how they speak Mandarin in such a short time. So I'd like to hear from you. How were you taught Mandarin compound final before? After watching today's video, did you discover a way of thinking about them? Welcome to leave a comment and let me know. If you found this video helpful, please give a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who's learning Mandarin. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one.